Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Quick Pop Podcast. I am Nannercat, and with me,
I'm Ace.
There we go. And unfortunately, it's going to be just the two of us. We need to cover WrestleMania 33 because we have not covered it yet. This was, honestly, it was one of my favorites. One of my favorite WrestleManias.
One of the better ones, considering the kind of lackluster ones we've had the past couple of years.
Yeah, especially the one that happened at 32 in Dallas. But that was just because, like, the best people were actually injured. Cena was out, Rollins was out, Cesaro was out. I think it was a little statistic that they had that none of the champions at WrestleMania 31 showed up
32,
at 32. And then Cesaro showed up the day after.
Because even 31 wasn't exactly a great one. And then 32 just had the bad luck of all of the star power being injured. So this was really the comeback one.
Yeah. No, but this WrestleMania was really good. There was a lot of great moments, a lot of surprise entries. We'll get into all of that. And then there was some...
Whether they intended it or not,
there was some stuff that wasn't really good.
Whether they intended it or not, this really was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You had your ups, you had your downs, you had that valley where you're like, is that it? And then it ended strong.
It was a thrill ride.
It really was.
It really was.
Some of the thrills could have used a little pumping, but you know what? This is whatever.
Now, little known fact, you were personally at WrestleMania 33. What was the environment
Quick
like?
Pop at Mania. Oh, let me tell you, okay, if you have not been in a stadium of, what was it, like 75,000 people, you don't know the meaning of cramped. You don't know the meaning of why do you need to get to go to the bathroom again? Like, you just went. Also, I had I don't want to say misfortune, because the guy was nice, but I sat by a larger gentleman, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very like elbow to elbow. Like, I was like, I'm so uncomfortable, but I'm so glad I'm here.
So he was a rather portly fellow.
He was bigger. He was big, but like, he was really nice, and he didn't try and like lean over. Like, he tried to lean towards his side more, just because he knew that we were all like packed in there.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really fault him too much, but you know how like you sit on a plane with like a bigger guy and you're like, oh god, this is going to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Imagine that for like 6 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you were still watching WrestleMania. It's not like you're complaining or anything. It's just like,
no.
Well,
it was if I had to say anything, that wasn't even a downside. The only downside was, if we're going to talk candidly about it, security was not consistent.
Yeah.
I had 100% planned on bringing a camera. It had a detachable lens, but when I checked the rules for both WWE's WrestleMania rules and the arena's event rules for that night, I fit into the category because it was like the lens can't be longer than 3 inches. Mm-hmm. Mine was not. I get to the front gate, they won't let me in. The security services, they can't help me. Customer service, they can't help me. So literally, we had to, let's just say, misplace the lens to be allowed in.
Okay, that's crazy.
So
security was strict, but they were strict in the wrong way because they didn't know their own rules.
They weren't following their own rules. They were literally like, they had this like clear bag policy that if it was a certain kind of bag, it had to be a see-through bag. Well, my wife had like a really small, like, could barely fit like a wallet and her sunglasses.
They'll still check it because they do that at NFL games.
They wouldn't let her bring it in. You had to take everything out and put it in one of the clear WWE like merch bags before they'd let her in. And I was like,
I mean, that I can understand because they do that at like big events where they fill a stadium, like
right. But my point was, the clear bag rule was if it's over a certain size. If it was smaller than like this little rectangle that they had on all the signs, then your bag was okay, and hers was. But they were changing the rules to no, any bag has to be clear.
Okay,
so that's what I mean. Like, security had rules. They weren't following those rules, and then they were making up other rules.
Okay, so
it was it got slightly soured, but like once I sat down and got into the environment of WrestleMania, I didn't even think about the security issue. All that did was sour my entrance.
Yeah.
Once I got there and you start sitting down, the fireworks start going off, everyone's like screaming chants and everything like that. You completely forget about the crap you had to go through to go in.
What time did you end up like actually getting to your seat? Did you happen to watch all of the pre-show, or
I got in the arena right when the Battle Royale was starting.
Okay, so you missed out on the cruiserweight.
Yes, I did completely miss the cruiserweight.
I got you.
I watched it afterwards, but I did completely miss the cruiserweight because I was surprised they started that off like relatively early in the pre-show.
Yeah,
but I feel like it was because they were trying to fit a lot of shows.
Well, they did keep it churning though. Like me sitting at home watching it, they definitely churned it.
Definitely,
the coal was churning that day.
Oh no, definitely. I was happy that I got to catch the end of the battle royale though. That was nice.
Yeah. So do you want to touch lightly on the pre-show, or you want to go straight to the?
Let's roll right down the pre-show real quick. There wasn't a whole lot of like stellarness. Like it was like if we're gonna keep using the roller coaster analogy, you were being seated. You know, everyone's getting seated, pulling.
And then you're looking
down.
at like the little TV as you're in your seat. It's like, this
like
is
telling
what
you about the ride.
This is what you can't do. Get ready, prepare. It's a little appetizer.
Yeah, it was a little appetizer. So if let's just rapid fire. The Neville Austin Aries match.
It was a good match.
When I watched it back, it did look like a good match. I'll give it to that.
There were a couple spots that I was like, ooh, because I think there was one, and they played it back. I want to say that Neville was doing a suplex, and Austin Aries was flat on his head.
Yeah.
So there was that. That was like kind of iffy.
Yeah. Some of those things. Surprised though at like the quickness of it, even though it was a pre-show match. Surprised at the quickness of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, because of the way they built it up, I was surprised at the winner. I feel like they had really built up this whole like, this is where Neville finally gets toppled because he had won at so many pay-per-views. This is where he gets toppled. So I was very surprised that they let Neville retain.
Now, I wasn't surprised by it because they built up Neville at the same time that he's the king of the mountain, king of the cruiserweights. He is to be feared. And he's still going on with that persona. And he deserves to have that strap on him. Absolutely. 110%.
I'm not 100% sure he's a cruiserweight. Like looking at his body, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. And it was
just way too much.
There was like a little bit of the flippy floppy in the match, but it looked like an actual wrestling match.
Yeah, he feels like he's like strongly like he's playing like against the crowd heel about not doing flippy stuff because he knows that's what people want to see.
Yeah, you can't do flippy stuff if you're a heel.
Yeah,
unless you're AJ Styles.
Unless you're AJ Styles, and even he's starting to change a little bit,
just a little bit, but not too much. I mean, he is in that weird limbo of his like, is he face, is he heel? He's obviously a heel, but you just can't help but cheer for the dude.
He's almost like WWE's version of like an anti-hero.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
No, I can see that.
But moving right along because we got to get to the juicy
the meat.
The battle royale. From what I saw as I was walking to my seat, it looked pretty good. I missed some key eliminations, specifically the Big Show and Braun Strowman.
Those were relatively early, which they ganged up on him.
Well, I mean, I know you always gang up on the big guy, but it surprised me that they ganged up on him so quickly. Like, I feel like they kind of robbed Show of his Mania moment a little bit.
Yeah, well, Show's had quite a few Mania moments. I think he's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there have been some rumors that he's starting to feel like he's going to call it quits, and so I don't know if this was his last, but it kind of had that feeling that it was last, and so it was odd that they didn't give him a bigger moment.
I gotcha. But I mean, he showed up on Raw, punched a dude, punched Kurt Hawkins, and then he left. So he's still got some spots left in him.
He's there for getting punched.
And plus, not to mention, it's not the Battle Royale's fault that robbed Big Show of his moment. We could all blame that on Shaq. Shaq was supposed to be the one.
That was supposed to be. We waited a year for that,
and it didn't happen.
And
Shaq
all the rumors
too busy selling
Shaq
Gold Bond.
backed out. Oh, God, that hard. Makes the same commercial and like adds a new co-star.
Yeah.
That being said, though, let us all take a moment to okay. So when I was talking crap about the security, let's all take a moment to give a round of applause for
to the lady chick,
the lady security who did not get the memo. But did her job.
She did. Oh my God. She was ready to tackle Gronk, dude.
She was like, sir, you need to get back to your seat. And all the refs had to be like, no, shh, it's okay. Let him go.
He's part of the show. Stop.
It's supposed to be spontaneous. Let it go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But,
she was on it, though.
God bless her. She showed that, like, the security is serious. Like, everyone always rags on the security of, like, are they really security or are they just there to protect the wrestlers? No. She jumped up, was like, sir, get back in your seat.
She was not intimidated at that guy, whoever
she wasn't.
Whoever he was. She
all
probably
she saw
didn't
was
even know
this big
that
muscle guy got out.
Super Bowl winning like, Rob Gronkowski, one of the best tight ends in the NFL right now. She didn't care.
She didn't care, sir. You need to get back to your seat.
Step back, get back in your seat now.
And he was so confused. He was like, why is this lady stopping me? It did add to the, I will say this. They've gone on record saying like that was not intended. Like she was not supposed to stop him, obviously. Yeah. I think it added to the drama a little bit that
it was fun.
Like, well, because like if he just got out, like immediately hopped up and went, it would have looked like he was a plant, like he was there on purpose. But with the security stopping him, it made it feel like no, Gronk was just there to watch the show, and he decided to insert himself.
Yeah.
So it made it feel a little more real, whether she intended it to be or not.
I gotcha. So, yeah.
Credit to her.
Yeah, definitely huge credit to her. And then also the Gronk moment with Jinder Mahal, Juicy Jinder. Juicy Jinder.
Seriously, how are so many other people getting popped for wellness and he's not? There's no way.
Maybe he's a part-timer.
I don't know.
He's going to get popped sometime soon.
At the record he gets squashed, there's no way.
Oh, he does not look like healthy.
He doesn't look healthy, and they don't have a story for him. He's literally the guy that you put out there if you want a guy to look like he beat a strong guy.
He's just Juicy Jinder to me. He's Juicy Jinder. And then Mojo really Rawley won the entire shebang, which everyone predicted. I originally predicted it, and then when I heard that Sami Zayn was going to be in it, I was like, you know what?
You're a fool.
The underdog of the underground. No, I can't do it.
I love Sami, but you're a fool to not have seen like all of the Gronk promotional thing and not going.
Yeah, but I really was hopeful about Sami. And
here's the thing, though.
And he lasted long too.
He did last a long time. And you know what? More power to also Mojo, because Mojo went from like a joke gimmick to like really getting a good push and riding the push.
He got over, and Gronk also helped him.
Gronk did help. Like, you can't deny that Gronk didn't help him. Gronk did help him, but he took something that was let's be real, a very silly tag team gimmick.
Yeah.
And when he lost the tag team, you could have thought like that's it, that the gimmick's gone. Mojo has really still pressed it forward, and more props to him for taking a gimmick and making it go over, even though it shouldn't have.
Yeah, I really like Mojo Rawley. Like at first I didn't. I really didn't. But then like he kind of grew on me. I needed time with him.
You don't get hype.
Stay hype. Next match, the last match of the pre-show, which was surprising to me when it happened, was the Intercontinental Championship between Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin. That was a good match.
It was a good match. I felt like some of the luster and the excitement got taken away when it moved to the pre-show.
Yeah,
I felt like this could have been a lot bigger match. But I feel like when you get put on the pre-show, you're kind of wedged into a time limit. And I felt like they couldn't put on enough of a show.
I mean, we could all understand last year, Ryback versus Kalisto for the United States Championship. Of course, that was going to be on, like, the main card. Yeah. But with what The Miz done with the IC, and then Dean having it, and against a good, like, Baron Corbin also grew on me. Putting those two on the pre-show, that was an absolute travesty to me.
Yeah, I mean, you got Dean, who was a former WWE champion, and is doing a not too terrible job of just being the Intercontinental Champion without needing the Intercontinental Championship to succeed. Like, he's already successful. He just now happens to have the IC title. He doesn't need the title to succeed. So he's doing good with the title, not because of the title.
Yeah.
So that's all that can be said, because it was a good match. There wasn't really any exciting spots or anything like that. It was a good match. It was just a travesty that they couldn't have put on a better show because they got push to the pre-show like that.
Yeah, because if you're on the pre-show, there's obviously going to be a time limit. In fact, the longest match on the pre-show was Neville and Austin Aries.
Yeah, and not by a whole lot either. Like,
no, because it clocked in at 15:40. The Battle Royal clocked in at 14:07, and then Dean and Baron almost was 11 minutes.
Right.
So
it was
they could have done a lot more with it. It was a really good match. I enjoyed it.
For a pre-show match, it was a really good match.
Yeah.
Odd to have a championship. I mean, maybe the Cruiserweight because it's still a new belt, but odd to have a IC championship match on the pre-show.
And then before that, I was saying that I was so happy that the IC title was not another 6-man ladder match. I was very happy about that.
Definitely
when I found out that they went to the pre-show, I was like, I'd rather have the ladder match if it was going to be on the main card. I don't know.
That being said, we're strapped in. We now know the rules. We're ready for the so kicking it off right at the beginning. Not a bad match.
One of the best matches of the night. It was my best match until another match.
Oh, definitely.
I still think that this was like if anyone had ever told me that AJ Styles and Shane McMahon's match was going to be one of the best matches at WrestleMania, I wouldn't have believed him.
Especially because it was like not explicitly a hardcore match.
Yeah.
Like this was a normal match that because the ref has flick disease where he gets flicked and he's out for the match.
And he's out cold.
Yeah. Then they were able to do Shane McMahon spots. AJ trying to pull off the coast to coast was a nice touch.
That was really cool. I was like at the edge of my seat. I was like, he's gonna do it.
No, as soon as you saw him setting it up, you're like, AJ, no, boo boo, you haven't been here long enough to pull that off.
The counter to that was really fun too. It was really fun to look at. Oh yeah. But here's the craziest thing. It started off as a legit wrestling match. Like Shane wasn't pulling it, like he wasn't throwing any punches. He was grappling with AJ Styles.
Yeah, they were showing that like this wasn't just going to be almost like a celebrity match. Where, the guy who really shouldn't be here is in here. Like they legitly decided to have a wrestling match that then, I mean, because of the type of match it ended in a spot fest. But they genuinely had a wrestling match to start.
Like the whole match was 3 phases. It was the wrestling match, and that which suited AJ. You had the fist fight, the boxing match,
right? Which
definitely suited McMahon, and then it became the spot fest, which both of them are known to do.
Oh yeah, I mean the fact of who they were, you knew it was going to be fest. But it was okay because they tried to take each other's spots.
Yeah, and it didn't look like AJ was carrying Shane at any point in the match. Like he was holding his own. Mm-hmm. The part that I really marked out on was that shooting star press.
Oh yeah, the shooting star press was fantastic.
Was fun. That I enjoyed, like 110%. I loved it.
Yeah,
I also loved that he missed it too, but it was so great.
The fact that he did it is all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I also went ahead and rated the matches. I think I was like really eager to rate them. And I actually have my own, and I have Meltzer's ratings pulled up.
It was technically sometimes controversial, but usually pretty spot on.
Yeah, both of them, me and him, we decided it was a 4.
Yeah.
And in fact, for him, that was the best match of the night.
See, and that's where I get into the whole I guess controversialness of it is that was the match of the night. That was by far an amazing match. Yeah. Not 100% sure I would go match of the night though.
There was one match that was slightly better.
Slightly better for reasons.
Yeah.
And one that was comparable even as well. But it was when he was calling that his match of the night, I was like, yeah,
I could see it. The thing is, I can't disagree with it because I could actually see that.
Right. That's what I guess that's my point. I can't disagree, but I can't agree that it was the only best because without getting into spoilers, it was his only 4.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I can't disagree that it wasn't a 4, but I can't agree that it was the only 4. I guess is what I would say.
Right. Moving on, the next match that came on was the United States Championship. Kevin Owens defeated Chris Jericho.
Go ahead. You get 1 minute.
I get 1 minute?
Yeah.
Why did you doubt him? You guys knew Chris Jericho wasn't going to stay there for long. He needed to give that belt up. What better place to do it than WrestleMania? And plus, Kevin's a good wrestler. His promos, they okay, but you gotta admit, he's kind of a spot monkey. And with his physique, to do the things that he does, you gotta give props to him. I think he's a good heel. I don't think he'll ever be a face because he's too snarky. But yeah, Kevin Owens. I picked him. No one else did. Who was right? Me. Who was wrong? All y'all. That's my minute.
Okay, so...
It was a good match, too.
You're not wrong, okay? It's obvious. Although... Let's say this, though. We all were, kind of feeling that KO would win because Jericho was on his way out with the Fozzy tour and stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, they're still pushing this rematch as if, no, Jericho's still here. He still has his rematch at Vengeance.
At Payback, yeah.
Yeah, Payback Vengeance, whatever it's called. The post-Mania one.
Yeah. That's
still a thing. And I don't know.
Honestly, they shouldn't have done that.
They shouldn't have done that. So I'm wondering, is this saying, the hunt's still there? Because, we just found out on SmackDown today that whoever wins that match stays on SmackDown. So I'm so like the loser goes back to Raw. Like, I don't really understand that ruling. It's weird.
I have no idea, but that'll be for a different time.
That'll be for a different time. Yeah. But still, it's weird that technically Jericho's still in here. That being said, here's my problem with Kevin Owens boiled down to just one thing.
Okay.
Aside from what you've heard me say in the past, I don't like that we don't see in the hunt Kevin Owens.
I think we'll be seeing a little bit more. One of the biggest things is that he has the belt. He's not hungry. He does need to be hungry, and I completely agree with you on that statement.
How many days has he been without a belt?
Not long.
Like maybe three weekly shows he's been without a belt.
Yeah.
He showed up with a belt, lost it, immediately got a belt, lost that one, immediately got a new belt, and now lost that one and immediately got a new belt.
Yeah. I do miss in the hunt Owens.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I would like Owens a little more if he wasn't always at the top in whatever division he's running right now. Because I feel like I don't really buy him as a champion because I haven't seen him work to get it. I mean, he does win his matches, and usually his championship matches he wins clean.
Yeah. I mean, he does put on good matches, though.
His defenses are a totally different thing. But when he's going to like win for a championship, it's usually clean. I just would much rather see like, triumphant KO and less like, here's your belt back KO.
Yeah.
So I'm still on the don't really like KO fence, especially although I do like that they did reinvent him, but again, that's another podcast. So he has potential to
I mean, I definitely don't disagree with you on it.
Yeah,
because I like in the hunt Owens better, but I'm also the potential to change
my mind. But right now, I'm just really bored of, Kevin Owens got a championship.
Hey, remember, he's the face of America now, so...
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
One big thing that I really liked is that they had a huge inflatable list of Jericho.
Oh, yeah, the giant list of Jericho.
Inflated up, man.
I thought that would do something like in his entrance, like it would pop open to confetti or whatever, but no, it was just kind of
just a huge, giant list of Jericho, just reminding everyone, you go against Chris Jericho.
He's still on the list.
You're going to make that list.
I mean, Kevin Owens' fingertip just made the list.
Yeah, that was something that I read that was so funny. Remember the painting that they had at the Festival of Friendship with the little fingertip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has so much more meaning now.
Yes, it does. It's so... That fingertip, Kevin Owens' fingertip made the list. An appendage made the list.
An appendage made the list.
I love Chris Jericho.
Worst things have made the list, but yes, an appendage made the list.
Friendship made the list.
Friendship did indeed make the list.
Yes.
All right, so
it was a good match.
So much more.
I rated that 3.5.
Fair enough. It wasn't a spectacular match.
Yeah.
But it didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
At least in terms of a match. So next we had
the women's Raw Women's Championship. Yeah. Bayley defeats Charlotte, Sasha, and Nia Jax in an elimination style match.
Let's be real. Bayley beat Sasha and Charlotte. Nia was in there, but
she's not like most girls, though.
She is not like most girls, though. She needs to stop.
You need more girls to pin her.
If that's the case,
so she's not like most girls.
Look, if she's not like most girls, and that's what they want us to like, I think she needs to start being like most girls. Because right now, I don't like her.
I don't like her either, but I think I usually like girls, so. She's not like most girls.
See, that can only carry you so far when you get put in a match to supposedly be the monster that's going to break up this match.
I'll let her carry me because she's not like most girls.
She's going to have to because that's all she knows how to do is squash and carry.
Lucky for me, she's not like most girls.
Are you done? Because I feel like
I really don't like Nia.
Her inclusion in this match was moot. Like,
I'm glad that she left the match early.
She left the match stupid early. Now, I did like how she left the match.
Yeah.
That was a cute spot. But it made me also realize, what was your point of being here?
It was the match I wanted. Like, people were upset about Nia being inserted into that match. And then the moment that she left, I had the feelings like,
that was when the match started.
Now this match could finally get the juices going. And it did. I mean, we saw the somersault from Charlotte. We saw some cool stuff with Sasha. Bayley.
Bayley was channeling Macho Man the whole night. That was good. I like that.
But Bayley, though,
Yeah, I know your feelings on Bayley.
Yeah.
Look, it's been a long time since we've had a very face women's champion, and so I am just enjoying it.
I'm glad. I mean, that is a good thing.
Like
but I mean, we
like for the
know
longest
why.
time
Like,
we had heel champs like down the board.
yeah.
And so it's so nice to see like a very fan favorite, loving, dare I say, huggable champion.
You said it.
I did say it.
You said it. I'm not a fan of Bayley. I just think that the main roster ruined her character for me.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I would like to see, like everyone wants to see Sasha like backstab Bayley. I don't want to see that. I want to see them be like actual friends. Like I feel like I keep seeing too many, women's champion or women's.
I think they would overdo it after the whole Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens thing. It's like,
yeah, but like,
you're my best friend.
Yeah, but like, I feel like they're constantly doing this whole like women are friends and then they break up. Women are friends and they break. Yeah. I want like a true blue.
To their credit, on Raw, like Sasha, thanked her and everything, and normally you would see the backstab, like
right then and there. Yeah,
like Bayley's gonna walk out, and then she's like, "Oh, hey, bah!" There we go,
but no,
another rivalry. Like, but she's like, "No,
that was a great match.
I'm glad
we're friends. Can I have a match?"
Yeah, like I want that chance now. I'm your rival. I want that chance, and she's
and
not like
Bayley
doing it through
like,
heel means either.
Yeah, Bayley was like, "Hell yeah, let's do this." And
yeah.
then,
but it was a good match. It was the better of the two women's matches.
True, if you don't count the markout moments, it was the better of the two.
Yeah, you're right. But
that's
still,
what I'm saying. If you don't count the markout,
yeah,
it was the better of the two women's matches.
But Bayley retained. It was an okay match. I gave it a 3.
I would almost say, like when you saw Bayley coming out in Macho Man here, you were like, "Well, we know who's fitting to win."
Yeah. I really wanted Sasha, though. I mean, we know that.
I think a lot of people wanted Sasha.
Yeah.
Mainly because that was just everybody's pick except Stars. Now we have reached. We climbed that big hill and we're ready for the drop. And boy did WWE hit us with the drop for match number 4, the Raw Tag Team Title Championship.
Hey guys, we're the New Day. Guess what?
God
Not only are we hosting WrestleMania 33, but I'm going to switch it up on you. I see 1, 2, 3 tag teams in there. Did you know that there's going to be a 4th tag team? I wonder who it could be.
Let me level with you.
And then Kofi takes off his hat. They're in their
like
wrestling
everyone
gear.
starts walking down.
I know, right?
Let me level with you. Being there when everyone came down, like, because I was having fun. My wife's already looking at me strange because I'm chanting with Enzo and Cass doing their whole thing. God, that's such a fun feeling. So all 3 came down. I'm like, all right, let's watch this match. Let's watch Enzo and Cass win because they were who I thought was going to win.
Yeah, I had the club.
I didn't see the club continuing. It was either going to be to me. The club had been beaten too much leading up to Mania to retain.
Yeah.
So I was picking Enzo. I could have also seen, Cesaro and Sheamus.
Hey, Sheamus and Cesaro,
who are just a weird, fun team.
They are.
So when I'm sitting there and the New Day comes out, I look over at my wife and I'm like, I knew it. I knew they couldn't just host. I knew they were going to put themselves in, and so they're in their gear. They're not just in their dressed up stuff. They're like in their ring gear.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh snap. We're going to get the New Day. This is how the New Day comes back. I don't think they're going to win, but it's good to see New Day at Mania. And then that freaking music hit.
Yep.
I'm impressed with the architect of the Citrus Bowl for putting so many supporting beams on the stadium. Because without them, the pop from the crowd might have brought the place down.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
That was right up with those jets that flew overhead at the beginning. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. And my wife looks at me and my jaw's just 3 floors down.
Yeah.
Because, I will say this. I did watch most of the match. There was 5 minutes that I didn't see.
Yeah.
And that was because I took that moment to go get some merch. And the people next to me were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to go get merch. And they were like, but the Hardys just showed up. And I'm like, yeah, the Hardys just showed up. Are you really wondering who's going to win? And then I walked off.
I think like, that was like the biggest note that we had, because y'all filled it out with Enzo and Cass. I think Enzo and Cass like was the average pick.
Was the average pick,
and then I was the one that picked the club, and then bam,
when they hit and I waited 30 seconds.
I knew you'd come. Broken Matt, Brother Nero,
like,
delightful.
Let me tell you what was even worse. Not only did I have to mark out, I had to mark out and then wait. Because most of you don't know, pay-per-views are live to an extent.
Yeah.
They are definitely about 30 seconds behind what's actually happening live. So let me tell you, not only was Quick Pop at Mania, Quick Pop had to sit there like, I think I've waited long enough. Okay, I'm going to say something.
I think he had to wait until like any of us like had said anything.
Yeah, I basically resorted to responding, not starting a conversation. Yeah. So like whenever y'all would mark out, I'd be like, I know.
But god dang though. The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys.
Matt and Jeff Hardy
and
at
they
WrestleMania.
And they wrestled very classic Hardy as well.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Ladder spots, even the Swanton Bomb.
Swanton Bombs, Twist of Fates.
Like
what was it?
On ground level and in and on the ladders.
Poetry in Motion. I mean, like...
It was beautiful.
It was absolutely beautiful.
It was brilliant.
And Jeff Hardy, again, came back to the WWE and immediately tried to kill himself.
You know, all the more credit to him, because the night before, they were in another tag championship match, another ladder match.
Yep.
And Jeff was doing the same stuff that he did.
Jeff doesn't care. I don't think
he doesn't.
I think Jeff sleeps on a ladder when he goes home. Like, because that's the only thing I could think of why he's so comfortable with ladders. It's like he must just sleep on a ladder.
And I'm going to say this right now, real quick. There will be a podcast about whether or not Broken Matt and Brother Nero should be in the WWE. Because right now, they're kind of mixing it. Because you can see, like, the little hand gestures, you know, to delete and everything. And sometimes in their promos, you know, Matt would have the accent.
Yeah, he has that little bit of air of like the dignity and the accent. So I think they're flirting with it while they're sorting out
all the stuff that's going on with TNA and Anthem. Yeah,
I think they're flirting with it, because if they commit, then they might breach some legal lines. If they ignore it, then it might die to like, you know, forgetfulness. Like you don't want to just all of a sudden bring it out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So they're ever so slightly flirting with it. So that way, if they get the go ahead, boom, full all the way.
Oh my gosh! Like the moment that they won the titles, I was like, the expedition of gold has ended.
Yep.
It is finished. It is done. They have the most prestigious Raw Championship belts.
Yep. Like
they have it.
They took something that didn't have a whole lot of like prestige and stuff behind it, because I mean, yeah, the Raw tag team titles, but ever since they split to red and blue, you know, it's kind of been like, I guess they kind of have. It's a weird feeling as a wrestling fan to admit and know that the instant the Hardys grabbed those belts, that belt's prestige skyrocketed.
Oh god, yeah, because these dudes, I want to say that they have most, if not all, the big indie promotions like Ring of Honor. I think I don't know if they have the Never ones. They definitely had the old TNA belts.
Yeah, they had the old TNA.
But yeah, the Expedition of Gold ended with the Raw Tag Team Championship belts.
Yep. They've reached that level. To just tell you how much we all felt about it, we all had our votes. We all unanimously decided we all won, because none of us got it right.
No.
But we all unanimously decided that everybody won.
Our Quick Pop WrestleMania sheet officially became broken.
Yep. Like I think we just all kind of decided like, no, it doesn't matter. We all won them. Like there's no losers when it comes to this.
Everyone is a winner when the Hardys, my favorite tag team, comes back.
Oh, absolutely. And you didn't even know they were your favorite. You could be picking Gallows, you could be picking Enzo, but as soon as the Hardys come back, you're like, who?
He was like, that's it. Why?
That's it.
Why did I? Oh.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I ended up. This was my highest rated match,
as it should be.
Yeah, it was 4.25.
And this is what I'm talking about. And this is what I'm talking about, because Meltzer only gave this
slightly
3
lower.
3/4.
Yeah.
And that was my problem because, like, I understand he's doing it from a purely objectionist standpoint, and you could argue that, like, once they showed up, it became a, like, Hardy spot fest and not really, like, a fatal four-way spot fest.
Yeah.
But us as wrestling lovers and fanatics,
you would rank it slightly higher. Absolutely.
Your personal opinion comes into this. And so I feel like...
I will say this. It probably would have been a 4 to Meltzer if that match lasted just a bit longer.
True. It did end really quickly, but I mean, you had to do it quick. Like, it had to be so, like, whiplash in your face. Holy crap, what just happened?
Yeah. And I was so happy that at the end of it, there were fireworks. The fireworks were amazing. All the fireworks at WrestleMania 33 were absolutely wonderful. They did a great job on it. I couldn't say this much. That set. WrestleMania 33 set.
That set was phenomenal.
Loved it. It's really good.
And I'll say this, and I think it mainly came across so good to us because we all get so caught up in these very samey sets when it comes to all the pay-per-views that you just really are, like, super wowed when it comes to a Mania set.
Yeah.
Especially considering the last two haven't been exactly stellar. They've just been kind of like flat, long sets, like very wide sets.
I liked them, but this one, like, took the cake because it fit the theme.
Oh, yeah.
We actually thought, like, at the beginning when they started constructing the set that there was going to be a roller coaster. And if there was going to be an actual roller coaster, the New Day would be riding on it, or Shane McMahon would be jumping off of it.
Absolutely. Like, I could 100% that happening, especially having Shane McMahon jump off of it.
Yeah. It's like, what is he going to jump off of this? Back to that match, I'm so glad that he didn't do, like, a huge, like, jumping spot.
Yeah, I'm glad that Shane didn't try and kill himself.
Yeah. I mean, he could put on good matches without trying to kill himself.
Yeah, you don't have to commit suicide every WrestleMania. But leaping right back forward because we've got so many more matches.
Yeah. This one was John and Nikki defeating Miz and Maurice. The match was okay.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
It was okay. The match was all right. For a while, The Miz actually looked like he had it on Cena. Big time. And one thing that was, like, really disappointed in is that Maurice didn't wrestle. I really wanted Maurice to wrestle again.
She almost barely showed up in that match.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've always argued that you have to be really careful when you do mixed tag matches.
Yeah.
Because the first guy to tag out looks weak.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful how you handle mixed tag matches.
The entire match, Cena looked weak. Miz looked like he had the upper hand. And he also had the crowd, too.
Well, because they've really enjoyed promos and vignettes he's been putting on.
Oh, yeah. I do.
I'll say this. Even as a really big Cena fan, the first one, really, I loved it because I was like, this is nice. I like they have no problem with, going to this level. That's fine. But when they did, like, the second one, I was like, okay, time for something new. Like, it was good.
I think they needed to run it to the ground because that's what The Miz does.
Oh, no, definitely.
So no matter what, it still kind of fit the character of The Miz.
No, definitely. I was just like...
And plus it fired John up. The promos he cut on him?
Dude, let's not even talk about the verbal murder Cena committed on people. Like Cena should have been, like, at least booked for the verbal murder that he committed. So
now, when it came to the actual rating of the match, I actually rated it with one other thing involved. Otherwise, it would have been a low-rated match. Like, I would probably rate it like a 2.5.
Yeah,
but the only reason why I got that extra 0.5 is, I mean, obviously, news outlets, they all covered it. WWE itself, they covered it. And this was also a big deal if you watch Total Divas or Total Bellas, Ace.
Yeah. No, I don't. I've never heard of those shows.
So, John proposed to Nikki Bella, and Nikki obviously said yes.
I mean...
That's a WrestleMania moment.
I do feel like that was spontaneous. Like,
I saw how hard, like, John Cena was shaking.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I feel like that was not, like, planned.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was, and we're getting worked, but that was a good... Real. That was a really nice WrestleMania moment. My fiance could actually vouch for this. I teared up quite a bit, like, seeing the...
As you should.
Seeing the engagement. I was like, oh... It was really nice.
We got what we asked for.
Yeah, it It was a good time. We're gonna move right along to that. The next one. This was what I slated to be match of the night, and
bar none,
it was really good. It was really, really good. Seth Rollins defeating Triple H at WrestleMania 33 in a non-sanctioned match.
Yeah, an unsanctioned, also known as this is the only way we can continue the
Triple H Death Trap.
Yeah.
Now,
which
I got one thing I want to say to get this off my chest. Triple H usually has really ridiculous openings whenever he comes out at WrestleMania. This one was the worst. This one was the absolute worst to me. Not because of the police motorcade going down the ring, but the biggest thing about it was he was just like riding this huge trike.
Yeah.
Now, what I could have seen, what I could have hoped for is that with that huge trike, because that thing had a wide bottom, just like Stephanie McMahon. Oh my God. But I digress. If he opened up that trunk and he pulled out like 2 or 3 sledgehammers, maybe some brass knucks, make it look like he was actually going to war instead of going to some shady bar outside of town, I would have loved it. But it looked really ridiculous. More ridiculous than the opening at WrestleMania 31 with the Terminator. He's like, "Oh, Terminator, I'm coming for you. Sting, you better watch out." But I don't know. It's just with WrestleMania 33, that opening with the police motorcade was absolutely horrendous. Now, Seth, on the other hand, his entrance into the ring was absolutely wonderful. Obviously very Game of Thrones inspired. He's the Kingslayer. He is the one that's supposed to slay the Goliath. He comes out with fire in his hands, and he places that sumbitch down. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say he places that sumbitch down. Fire just absolutely rushes to the ring, and I am so disappointed. Not only the fact that Kane once again wasn't at a pay-per-view, a major pay-per-view, because he wasn't even at Royal Rumble, but the fact that Flame did not shoot up from the ring the moment that he lit the world on fire. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. But when it comes to that, the match was really good. They played up the knee. At first, I thought it was going to be a little bit slow, just because they're playing up the knee angle, that he has a bum knee. They've been alluding to it for the past 2-3, I guess for like a month or so, when Samoa Joe, I guess, did something with it again. I don't know. But when that happened, like when the match started and they were working the knee, it was great. It was a great match. They told a story. It felt complete to me. Like, this was the final time that Seth Rollins and Triple H were going to have any sort of altercation. Very brutal match, too, because Triple H, he was not playing any games. No games whatsoever. He was the game, and he makes the rules. But on WrestleMania 33, not today. Definitely not today. Seth came out with it. Wonderful, wonderful match. There was a nice little pedigree spot at the end. Loved it. Like, where they were going back and forth with the pedigrees and everything.
Yeah, like constantly trying to pedigree each other. Yeah.
It was way too good. They told a complete story, gave it a nice little finale, and then plus you got to see Stephanie McMahon eat it again by going through a table.
Eat it with like a passion, apparently. Like, just absolutely got wrecked to the point of she's not going to be on.
Yeah, she couldn't even assign the new Raw general manager.
Right.
Which, you suck. Okay. Sorry. I was getting really excited about that.
No. I will say this, though. I feel like, since he's not here, I can say it. Nelstar cheated.
How?
His Shawn Michaels pick.
Uh-huh.
The fact that he technically got credit for it.
Yeah.
I gave it to him because he did show. But at the same time...
Yeah, I gave it to him because he did technically show, and that was the thing. He technically showed.
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily have called that a special appearance.
Yeah, well, either way, it wouldn't have mattered because he is not the Quick Pop pay-per-view champion.
Even with that, it didn't affect the scores too terribly much. The Quick Pop itself even beat him.
Yeah, that was the thing. The only person that Quick Pop did not beat was me.
Which was shenanigans.
No, it's not shenanigans.
Bias.
It's not.
Here's something that I just thought about, though.
What?
I don't know if it'll ever be a thing. Could Quick Pop ever beat us?
It beat the three of y'all.
That's
No,
what I'm saying,
I don't think
like-
it could. I don't think it could.
Well, like by averages,
Well-
though, there theoretically could be like Quick Pop beating us, right?
Yeah, I mean, there had to, like, all of us would have to have, like, at least one or two, like, huge upset picks.
Right. So well, I guess my point is, like, for those who don't know, we have a small behind the scenes kind of championship belt competition thing.
Oh,
going
I don't think it
through.
was behind the scenes. I posted that stuff on Twitter. I posted it on my Discord.
For those
I
who
asked other
don't
people
look
to
at-
engage in it.
For those who don't look at all of the sources, though, like who made Justice's podcast, we have individual like belts, I guess you could say, and you get to notch them when you win. And so Ron obviously gets the inaugural notch. But I was just realizing how like the Quick Pop picks were in second place, and so I was just thinking, would there ever be a time where technically Quick Pop won as a whole?
It might. When you really think about it, it might. The odds are very, very slim, but it could.
It theoretically could happen.
Yeah.
Like,
but-
for example,
yeah.
If, on a later match, you would pick totally different, but everyone else picked, like, to win. Like, I think the numbers could have worked out, I guess
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. But anyway, that being said, Triple H, Seth Rollins was a fantastic match and very deserving of match of the night.
that was the longest match as well.
It was. I'm still trying to figure out what time you put here.
For some reason, like the Google Sheet actually added in seconds to it.
Yeah,
so
because
it
I
was
was
25 minutes, 25 and a half
trying
minutes.
to imply that it was like a 25-day long match.
Yeah. No,
Or
that's not the
something.
case.
I was like, I know I was there for a while, but I didn't think I was
Yeah.
there for like that long.
I went ahead, rated that match a 4, same rating that I did AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. Meltzer gave it a 3.5. What would you
That's
have
what
rated
I
it?
thought was weird. If I was to rate it, I'd 4, maybe a
Yeah.
3.75, just because like kind of the predictability of it.
I think
because
the
it was
only
an
reason
unsanctioned-
why I know that Meltzer rated it the way he did is that he doesn't really like injury spots. That
Yeah.
it kind of kills momentum, which you gotta admit, that match did start pretty slow, but when they got churning, they got churning.
you could definitely see the adrenaline started churning after a little bit.
Yeah.
Real injuries or not. And at the fact that he like put Stephanie McMahon like completely out of commission somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, I
No.
know it killed Xavier Woods for a while, but come on, the tables aren't that deadly.
Now, this next part, I
Yeah,
know what I'm
here-
gonna say.
Here's where it starts to dip.
Pitbull,
Oh yeah.
Florida,
You know that they always.
to death.
You know they're always going to have like a musical segment, like just
They
because
killed WrestleMania.
they did. Like that was
None of
like,
the matches after that were worth a
Uh,
Pitbull,
slight.
Florida.
He did. They okay. I'll
Well, the
agree
ending.
that-
We'll save that. But for all purposes, Pitbull,
yeah.
Florida,
Right.
that halftime show.
Mhm.
It.
I can't wait to hear this version. The musicals section, definitely, as weird as it sounds, was a very big turning point for Mania because the crowd definitely
They
you
checked
couldn't-
out. They
you
checked
couldn't
out.
See it. You couldn't see it, but like obviously people are always going to move in between matches because everyone has the match that they decide to go get popcorn or like that.
Yeah.
You could literally see like the entire arena. Like I almost think that was the moment that everyone decided to go to the bathroom because you could just see movement all over the arena of people getting up out of their seats.
Yeah. I think also at
in
that
the-
moment, like, WrestleMania was starting to run long. And so
Well, I mean,
it
Mania
became
on
a
its
point
own
where it
ran
was just
long.
like, oh, this is, now I'm feeling kind of tired. Is this really, like, we still
just-
got matches after this?
You went from such a high energy match to like a grinding halt that was the music performance.
There we go. The greatest thrill ride.
It really was like they hit the dip and then it was like that part where like they have to slow the car down
Yeah.
because they're about to take like a turn or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. No, here's the thing. All what you may or may not have said earlier, they're not terrible. It just didn't feel necessary.
It wasn't necessary. Not at all.
Now,
And plus,
you
the song
obviously-
sucked.
You obviously had to have the WrestleMania theme song play. Like
But did it have to be Florida again?
I'll tell you this. The entire time I was down there for vacation, that song was stuck in my head the entire time. Like, I'd be sitting in line for rides, and I'd just be like, and I'm ready to go.
Oh.
It was stuck in my head the whole time. It's a catchy little thing when they're playing it in between the matches. It's the only part you hear. It gets stuck in your head.
That's horrible. I'm so sorry.
Look, we all have our flaws.
Right. So after that huge travesty, which was the halftime show,
the halftime show, yeah,
we went on to something a lot worse. I will actually say this was a lot worse. The match sucked. It was horrible. It was Randy Orton going over on Bray Wyatt. I really thought Bray Wyatt was going to retain and hold it for a long time.
To tell you just how bad this was, we have fairly divisive opinions. And for the most part, though, when we all come together with a unanimous decision, such as the previous decision of Seth Rollins versus Triple H, where we all voted Seth Rollins,
we kind
of all come up with a unanimous decision, it's usually right because we've all kind of weighed the odds of what's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
So the fact that we all voted Bray, Nell's bias notwithstanding, the fact that we all voted Bray and all felt that Bray actually was going to win, with all of the spots they had Bray doing, it was odd that he lost.
And it was pretty cool. Like, I loved the graphic spots. I absolutely enjoyed it.
They were a little weird, but...
It was weird, but that fit Bray.
I had the best moment, though, with those spots, because as those spots kept going on, I'm like, I was, when you start doing that thing where you're, like, talking not to the person next to you, but kind of, like, where they can hear you, so, they hear you, but you're not necessarily to them.
Yeah.
I started, like, going, saying, all these stupid, weird voodoo things that Bray's doing. How much you want to bet Randy pulls the stunt where he has, like, a snake come up to try and, like, bite Bray, and then he hits him with an RKO.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this guy, like, one row down and one seat over was like, yes, what he said, I'm calling it. And his friend was like, you can't call it. That guy called it. He goes, well, I'm seconding it. I was like, I guess. But it was just so funny that he screamed like, yeah, that's going to happen. I'm calling it. And his friend called him on it like, you can't. He called it.
Yeah. But it didn't happen. In fact, like, I would have preferred that. I would have preferred it rather than all of a sudden the match ended.
They had a really good story going with the match, like, in the long term, but then it just abruptly ended.
And it was bad. It was very, very bad.
You had such a great story going into it, and you like built the story throughout the match. So it was just really weird that they just suddenly, cut the match. Like, it was almost like someone looked at, like, the time almost and just said, nope, stop here.
It was horrible. It was a horrible match.
Yeah.
It was the worst match of WrestleMania.
But yeah, it was right up there. It was tied for worst match.
It was, for you it was probably tied. For me, that was the worst.
Yeah.
Worst match.
It's
not Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania 20 bad, but it was pretty bad.
Especially because I'm sure everybody was pretty
shooken up.
Win. Yeah.
Yeah. We all thought he was going to win.
Before we move on,
yeah,
one fun thing, again, about being in a crowd of 75,000 people is, normally when Bray Wyatt comes down, the arena's dark and all you see is little pinpricks of light from, the fireflies.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, 75,000 people, though, are now being fireflies.
That must have been really cool.
It was bright enough in that arena, I could have read a book.
Really?
Like, so much just light from people's fireflies. There was just so much light that, like, without having light directly shining on my book, I still book. That's how bright just the ambient light was in there. So it was really weird, like, reverse what the Bray Wyatt entrance normally is, because normally it's dark with little pinpricks of light. This was just straight up, like, bright in the arena.
Well, I bet, because because Bray's over. Bray's totally 110% over.
Why did we have to have another WrestleMania where Randy Orton wins? Is that, like, that's almost his gimmick now? If he's at WrestleMania, he's going to win, unless it's a versus Taker.
Right. Going on to this next match.
This next match was not great, but it exceeded
expectations. Yeah. It is for the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar defeats Goldberg.
We all technically knew how this was about to go down because of who was wrestling. Because if we're going to talk about the previous matches, Spot Fest, this was like the Spot Fest.
Nothing but signatures and finishers.
Yep. And what I will say though is that they tricked us right at the beginning. They almost made it like, oh snap, we're gonna have another Goldberg match,
and then Lesnar kicked out.
But then he kicked out, and then you were like, all right,
this is gonna be something.
Here we go.
Yeah.
When he kicked out, Goldberg had at that moment wrestled longer than he had since he.
Yeah.
So there was his achievement right there. If Goldberg was being paid by the hour, that was his golden nugget right there.
he did it. He got to 1 hour. No, he didn't even get to 1 hour.
No, not total.
No.
Unless you count appearance times.
Probably wrestled for like a total of maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Someone out there has the time.
Someone out there has the time.
But the match lasted less than 5 minutes.
But I mean, realistically, who was expecting it to go long?
Right. I almost wanted to do like on our extra points. What was the over/under on Brock and Goldberg?
That would have been a really good one, like greater than like 2.5 or 11. That would have been a good one to go with.
But I think for me, it was short. Well, given both of these two only know several moves. Brock knows a lot more, but the way he's built now is like, okay, suplex, suplex variant, another suplex, F5.
Oh, that didn't work? Go back to step 1.
And then Goldberg, spear, jackhammer, spear, jackhammer.
Both of them operate on a flow chart.
Yeah.
They spear or they suplex, and then they try to finish. Did you finish? Yes, you win. Did not? Repeat step 1.
Yeah.
And then they just go through and do it again.
So there was not much like technical aspect to it. I mean, given, I still rated it a 2.5.
It still wasn't a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
But it was not, because it was only a 4-minute match, normally something like that would get a very terrible rating, but it still put on what you expect to be a show.
Yeah, and this one, I actually completely disagree with Meltzer on it. That guy rated it a 3.5.
Yeah, like... I
was like, what?
I think it was a good match, but I don't know if it was...
He's saying that it was Seth Rollins, Triple H caliber. It was Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho caliber.
And that
totally
it was just
disagree
barely
with it.
Underneath Raw Tag title caliber.
Yeah.
No.
Do not agree. But, oh well.
That's
the next match, this honestly, as much... as I love Naomi, this should have stayed on the pre-show.
This should have been. And I think the only reason it got moved up was because of Naomi.
Yeah.
Like, literally, her inclusion in it moved it. The only thing I don't like, if you're going to include her, fine. If you're going to move it up to the main card, fine. Don't put it on next to last.
Because you already had 2 matches that were almost to complete garbage, and then you put on something like that. It wasn't good. It was not a good match.
Rushed for a match that should have gone long because of the number of people that were in it.
Yeah,
it ended really fast.
Like everyone had their spot, and then it was done.
Mm-hmm. Everyone got to do their move, and then it was done.
Good thing Naomi came out with the belt.
Oh, definitely.
Super happy. I thought that was really neat. That was really cool.
That being
said,
the
match was horrible.
My pick was technically Mickie James. Now, I should have done what everybody else did and altered it as soon as Naomi was on that SmackDown before.
Yeah.
But I was voting Mickie James pre her showing up because they let drop in one of the SmackDown that if Mickie won this, she would be tied for Trish Stratus's women's title title championships. And I was like, I could see them giving it to Mickie just so she tied that record.
Yeah, but I mean, Trish, though.
I wouldn't say that they would let her break it. Yeah. But I could see them letting them tie, just like they let Cena tie Ric Flair's, even though we know before Cena.
But I don't think Mickie James is on that same pedestal as Trish Stratus, though. Cena, you could definitely agree that he deserves it. Mickie, I don't think so.
As she is right now, no, she hasn't put herself back on that pedestal. But if you look at the time she did get that number of titles, see it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Mickie will do it over on Raw. We don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
She's still too new and too off just being the masked women wrestler to really be able to showcase.
What's her name? La Cucaracha or something? Or I don't know. I don't know. But TLDR on that. Horrible match. Pretty good ending.
Is it weird that, like, I felt like everyone's entrance in was longer than the mattress. Or not the mattress, the match, sorry.
I think so. I know they even rushed the entrances because I remember Natalya was like halfway down the ramp and then they already introduced like the next person.
It was like, Natalya was like right before Naomi. So like Alexa came down and she wasn't all the way down. Becky Lynch got halfway down and they sent Carmella out, and Carmella barely got started down the ramp before Natalya came out.
Yeah.
Like
no,
it almost
they were
felt
rushing.
Like they were like, all right, ladies, hurry up. You know, Naomi's got to have her entrance.
Yeah. But that's all that needed to be said about that. We get to the match of the night. Yeah.
This one has a lot of divisive opinions.
This one definitely is, polarizing just because of the gravity of the match. When it comes to
what side of the fence you sit on watching.
When it comes to like straight up wrestling, I'll give it a 3. Like, it was a good match, told a story very well.
Yeah, nothing spectacular.
But Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker, and it was a good match. It looked like Undertaker was just gonna run all over Roman, and then all of a sudden,
he was putting on a clinic.
Momentum changed, and it changed rather quickly, and Undertaker wasn't going to recover from that one. One of my favorite spots of that it wasn't after the first like sit up where Taker was like, he was just slammed through the table, and then he does the Taker thing where he just stands or sits straight up and then gives that like stare. It was the second one when he was in the ring. I think he took like a couple spears after this, and he sits up, and then you could see that he's struggling, and then he lays back down.
He sat up and looked menacing for about a second, and then kind of keeled over.
And I think at that moment, like, you realize that
you knew what was going to fix to happen.
You knew, and you didn't want it to happen. It was like coming, but you didn't want it to be true.
Like, it was almost like watching a movie where you know that like the ending has been telegraphed, and so you know what's fixing to happen, and so you just keep wincing every time that it's about to happen. Like, is this going to be it? No, I don't want this to be it.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good to watch. I'll give it that. And we could have another podcast about this, about how Roman Reigns is going to be from here on out, because that is a very big deal, that you are the man. Not only are you the second man to ever beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but you were probably the last man to ever wrestle The Undertaker.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I like that they've done. They've heavily implied, but there hasn't been any like singular statement that he's done.
Yeah. And
I think that's probably the best, that The Undertaker doesn't retire. He just, for lack of a better word, stops existing.
Yeah. I like that. I like that thought, because I mean, we know after all of this, it was done.
Oh, definitely.
Any more about the match? Because I think we do need to touch up on the aftermath.
Yeah. When it comes to the match, I think I like the fact that, I don't know, Roman almost looked like exasperated throughout it.
That he's like, I can't put this guy down.
Like,
I'm throwing everything at him.
It was very much a like, what else am I going to have moment. Yeah. From an outside standpoint, watching the match over, you can even see like that moment when Roman knows what like his next move is going to be the move, and like he runs through a gamut of emotions.
Yeah, I think Nell actually pointed it out that there was a point where Roman mouthed that he said he was sorry. Yeah,
I went back and looked through, because I think he said that there was a rumor that he did.
Yeah,
at the tapes, and he does. But you can see leading up to it, he does this like look of like, I know what I have to do, and it really like you could see it really hits him what he knows he's about to do.
Yeah, at that point,
he like put on the Roman face.
He wasn't wrestling as Roman; he was wrestling as Joe.
Yeah, you could see what he knew what he had to do, but then he had to immediately shift it into like the, no, I'm going to put you down. Yeah. No, I'm going to put you down. So it was really weird to see him run through the gamut of emotions.
I mean, there was so much gravity in that match.
As much as we've talked crap about, did it make Roman look strong? We even had a joke extra point.
Yeah.
For did it Roman look strong? But I think we all, kind of understandably didn't give a point for that one. Obviously because it was a joke, but at the same time, because like after you watch that Roman moment, it really changed how you looked at Roman. The backstage photo afterwards.
You could take two things away from that. One, people were like, "Oh man, we hate Roman," and that definitely showed on the Raw after WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you have a bigger understanding about what happened with Roman and the character, and even you learn, you feel for Joe, you feel for the man behind the character. But that's another podcast.
That's a totally another podcast, getting into like backstage.
Yeah,
but I mean, you could tell even just watching the match.
Yeah,
the moment that Roman realized what Taker was really about to do for him.
Yeah, the ending, the last few moments of WrestleMania 33. Roman has already left. Gave The Undertaker the ring, and all of a sudden, he was clothed again. The Undertaker had his hat, his duster. He was ready to go, and he's just about to leave the ring. He actually makes that one step. Out. He comes back in. He takes off his gloves. He takes off his duster. He places his hat down in the middle of the ring. He gets out the ring. He looks like he's about to go up the ramp, and in a moment of broken kayfabe, he kisses his wife or girlfriend. Is Michelle McCool? Is he married?
I don't think he's officially married yet, though.
Okay. Well, he kisses Michelle McCool, who he is seeing, and that's at that moment, like that absolute moment where he gives a kiss. That's when it all starts the moment where everything hit. Like, it's done. The Undertaker is gonna disappear.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you. In the arena, after the match was up, obviously a lot of people are standing up, getting out, because as far as most people knew, it's done. We just we saw what we saw, it's done. But you could tell there was a moment when people were walking through down the stairs or in betweens, everything. Everyone froze. I was standing just to kind of stretch, but at the same time, you froze, because then you realize, no, we're still watching this.
Yeah.
And I mean, watched it all the way up to until he disappeared.
Yeah.
And I think, as cheesy as you could say it looked, the fact that he didn't actually walk up the ramp all the way.
Yeah, that he manifested and then he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
That's the legend of The Undertaker.
He didn't walk behind the curtain. He just disappeared.
And I think that was the best way for him to go out.
And to show you just the true reference that they were giving it. We all know when they break down
the sets and everything.
That the ring is the first thing, because it's the easiest thing to just break down and get out of the way, so we can start taking everything else down. Apparently, this time around, it was the last thing. And there are media photos
with his gear still in the ring.
Yeah, nobody touched it.
Yeah.
It was still there early morning hours the next day while they were still breaking down. And I think that really shows you, wrestling aside, what that really meant for just people in general.
Yeah, because for a lot of people, they saw their childhood hero, someone that they looked up to, kind of give his last hurrah.
We all knew, probably never really acknowledged it. But when you get into wrestling, and I think it was probably about 29 or 30, we all knew that we were seeing the back end of Undertaker's career.
Yeah. But I honestly thought he should have ended when he had that, the Hell in a Cell match with Triple H, with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee.
Mm-hmm. Where he beat him, and that should have been it.
The end of an era match was what they were billing it as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is they built it up as streak versus career, and if he left as well as Triple H, then it would have kind of killed and tainted the whole, did he win or did he lose?
Yeah.
But I think it was after the streak was broken, we all were kind of
what's going to happen now? Is he coming back? Is he? Isn't he?
Yeah. And so every time he came back, it was oh, Taker's still here. Taker's still here. But you always had that kind of back in your mind feeling that, is this going to be the one where we finally see the end of Taker?
And a lot of people thought that last year's WrestleMania was going to be it, because it was in Dallas. It was a Hell in a Cell match. And then Shane McMahon, for some reason, was the one that he was facing off against.
Yeah.
But
Mr.
all in all,
himself.
That ending definitely was a WrestleMania moment within itself.
If there was a way to make the ending match of the night, it would get match of the night.
Yeah.
Because I think everything that they did and the way they did it was handled properly.
Yeah.
Because, like, Roman only did one, like, when Roman was done and he was walking up the ramp, like, he only did one little moment where, like, he raised his fists victoriously.
Because he won, and that's
So he had
better
his,
than
like,
getting a championship.
he
You
had
beat
his-
The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You deserve to celebrate that.
Yeah, he had his raise the fists victory moment, and then he got out of there. And,
Because
that says a lot about him.
Yeah, he knew.
He knew what he had just done, and he was
And
like,
he knew the
"This is
opportunity
not
that
my
was
moment.
given to him as well.
This isn't my moment. This is his moment. I'll have my moment tomorrow."
Yeah, that he did.
Yeah, well, depending on whose moment you really count that as, but
Yeah, that was his moment. I will say the Raw after WrestleMania, the first 10, 15 minutes, that was Roman's moment.
it's
He knew.
really weird when you think about the fact that though for like 10 or 15 minutes, Raw was running and nothing got said.
Except 5 words.
Yeah, they didn't even intro Raw. They were just like,
Yeah.
Raw's on.
They started with the thank you, Taker. Then thank you, Taker. Roman sucks. Then
into
Roman
a
came
myriad of-
out. Boo. Then
Then
the a-hole
audience
chants.
really got into it.
the STFU, the FU Roman, the shut the F up.
Man, I felt kind of bad for him there in a minute because I'm like, okay,
He knew what he was getting
Jeez.
into. He was prepared for it. If he wasn't prepared for it, he wouldn't be in wrestling.
he embraced it too. He was like, all right, this is how it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna be. He even
This
in
is
the
my
previous-
yard now. Boom,
Even
boom,
on the last
boom, boom, boom.
Monday Night Raw, the one that just happened,
Yeah.
even you could see he even acknowledged like that the Undertaker match.
He knew the gravity.
He even he on camera acknowledged the gravity of it. Like, and
Yeah.
that was interesting because that was like riding that kayfabe line a little bit.
Yeah, but overall, it was a good WrestleMania. Best moment had to have been Taker. The worst moment, Orton winning. And then the why moment, the championship matches sucked. Except for the Raw Women's Championship.
That is true. Like every championship match that wasn't Raw,
It wasn't
as weird as it
spectacular.
sounds, it wasn't that great.
And
Like,
I don't understand.
like,
They
you had
basically
two
led
championships.
WrestleMania with one of the best matches of the night.
I know
That's crazy
and
to me.
It's for all the talk that SmackDown is this lineup. That was Raw's night.
It honestly was. It honestly
Yeah.
was.
Everything that was Raw was decent, and everything that was SmackDown kind of fell short.
Except for one huge match at the beginning of it.
True.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts about WrestleMania before we wrap this up?
Final takeaways on WrestleMania. If obviously all WrestleManias are obviously championship kind of matches.
Yeah.
It was weird that championship matches felt like exhibition matches, and the exhibition matches felt like championship matches.
Yeah.
Like, it felt backwards, the gravity of the situation. I was way more involved and invested in matches that didn't involve titles, barring the Raw Tag Team titles. I was way more invested in the matches that didn't involve titles than I was in one that did.
Yeah.
Like, the Cruiserweight and the IC title, good match. I wasn't really blown away. But then, the Andre the Battle Royal, spot after spot, and holy crap, Mojo Rawley's gotten his moment, and Gronk showed up, and then you go back to championship matches, and okay, that was good, but AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, whoa, that was good, and then like I said, the Raw Tag Team one notwithstanding, John Cena and Nikki Bella was pretty good, but then you get Seth Rollins and versus Triple H, holy crap, another amazing match, and then a slew of SmackDown and Universal titles, and they had all no gravity to them, and then right back to an exhibition match that had weight to it again.
Yeah.
So just in general, it felt weird that championship matches felt less weighted than the singles matches.
Yeah. It was very odd. Very
Especially
odd.
the championship matches, like the fact that Randy Orton's was like 10.5 minutes, and Brock's was almost 5, but even that was impressive.
Yeah.
The fact that like AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon was 20, Seth Rollins versus Triple H was 25, Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker was 23, but the main title matches barely reached half of that.
Yeah.
Just-
It was odd.
So, and that's not any points against WrestleMania. WrestleMania overall was,
Yeah.
but I think you said it best. They slammed on the brakes once they did the musical performance.
Yeah. it was. I don't know, man. Well, hopefully we see some really good stuff this upcoming year, and then we get to revisit doing WrestleMania, WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. How about that?
Let me tell you,
all of us are talking about taking a trip down there.
I already am planning. Like the minute I saw it, I was like, I was talking to my mom because my parents love going. I was like, hey, you want to go to New Orleans? And at first she was like, yeah, that'd be a fun trip. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Let's try and plan it for, like this date. She goes, why that day in specific? And I'm like, the Farmer's Almanac says it's going to be a really nice day that day. So
that works out, though. Hey, there you go.
If you haven't been to any wrestling event live, for our listeners out there, if you haven't been to any wrestling event live, definitely go. Once you've done that, absolutely try and catch a pay-per-view. It's a totally different environment. And then from there, you have to experience WrestleMania. It's going to be cramped. Tickets are going to be a little pricey. You're going to relish the fact that a chicken sandwich is $15.
Yeah.
But all of that won't matter once, like, the atmosphere and the fireworks and the over-the-top WrestleMania entrances start popping off.
Yeah.
You'll forget about all that.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. My final thoughts is that right now I am the first and hopefully will be the last.
You're going to be the last.
Quick Pop pay-per-view champion.
I don't think you're going to win twice in a row.
I don't know. We'll see. Payback's coming up.
I'm going to start going with my gut reactions and not playing devil's advocate. I could have won a lot more.
I don't think I'm going to do the extra points. We're just going to go straight into it. But
if there's something where we could kind of joke that something might happen,
then we'll do it.
We might throw in one or two, but we won't have this. We won't have the same.
Oh, no, there was a lot that could have happened with this WrestleMania. So,
well, I feel like we all got shafted with the Wild Rock showing up.
Yeah, luckily he didn't go. Luckily, I'm happy about that.
Why? We all voted yes. We all would have gotten the point.
Well, we thought that he was because he's usually there, but I guess they didn't need star power because we had all the stars again.
He'd been at the last 5.
Yeah, but we didn't need him at this one. This was good.
He could have come out and set the globe on fire.
Yeah, but luckily he didn't. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
No more WrestleMania talk until next year.
But no more 2-hour-long podcast.
Well, this was only 1:30, but I mean, with condensing and all that, whatever. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later.
Ta-ta.
Bye.